these the ruins the knave was talking about?
They seem to be pretty ancient, all right.
Let's go in and have a...
Just be careful.
What? Your floor here isn't safe.
I follow the wind.
This place has also been contaminated.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too. A Fontainian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous and it won't be any... don't get my wrong. We're not saying you...
No, you're right. I can't do anything in this situation. I'll leave this to... That complicates things.
In that case, do you want to wait for...
The water levels here are unstable, and there's a chance the water will rise. I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit
All right. Come with us for now then, but please... Oh no, it's a dead end! Let's try climbing over from the side.
Time to go. Time to go.
Wait, there's something wrong with this bridge!
Demoiselle?
Huh?
Demoiselle, what are you doing here by yourself? Would you be standing here till dark?
Maybe she just wants some time to herself, Malus.
Oh, was I sleeping?
Yes, it would appear so.
I must be tired.
That's quite possible. However, you were the one that suggested we go out for a walk.
Oh, right. I nearly forgot. It must have slipped my mind when I dozed off. I haven't had a nap today yet. Have I? This is a familiar feeling, yet something's a little strange.
Is something the matter, Demoiselle?
Oh, no. No, I'm fine. I was just trying to recall why we came out for a walk.
Do you remember Mr. Giverny? He'd requested our help before with foreign merchants who had a debt dispute with him, and we'd resolved the matter not long ago.
We were headed to see how things were going with him at the moment.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Oh, Miss Navia. Ah, Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too. It's good to see you.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks to your help, those bothersome merchants finally realized that I wasn't the one they were looking for. Why, they were knocking at my door day and night. Even my neighbor, Obina, was getting fed up with them.
Sometimes force is required to calm someone.
That's right. Oh, by the way...
Oh, yes, Miss Navia. These are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. I don't know what we would have done without your help. So this is a little token of our
Did you cultivate them yourself? Thank you so much.
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, Demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants for some of...
Very well.
Wait. Excuse me, madam. If I'm not mistaken, your name is Burnett.
That's right.
No, it's nothing. This is the first time we've ever met, but your name seemed familiar to me. I've heard this name before. And why are there so few people around here?
We must mind the time, Demoiselle. We still have important
We do?
Well, now, did you forget?
Miss Navia, here you are. I've been looking for you. Please, come to the Opera House. Your trial is about to begin.
My trial? Wait, why would I need to...
Yes, she's right, Demoiselle. It's just about time now.
Oh?
Look, it's Navia! She's here!
And her two attendants are with her. Goodness, everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to be oddly... excited about something. I even know some of these people. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen. Why are so many people here? And why do I have no recollection of this case? And as for the judge... huh? Where's Monsieur Neuvillette?
Please sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver and I shall accompany you.
All right. But are you sure you can stand behind me?
Typically, it wouldn't be allowed, but today is an exception.
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on, do they have any idea what they're doing?
Seriously.
Enough with the whispering! Could someone please tell me where Monsieur Neuvillette is? And why I'm standing trial?
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized what you've done? In that case, allow me to explain. As all here know, you are Master Callus's successor, the head of the Spina di Rosula, someone held in high regard by every soul in Poisson. After you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus had. If anyone in need reached out to you for help, you responded. Not only you, but your butler, your subordinates, Nearly everyone in the Spina di Rosula fought for the well-being of those in Poisson.
Wait a moment. Aren't you just proving that I'm a good person?
Yes, correct. Absolutely right. And that is why you stand accused. You have helped so many people get through so many difficulties. You are one with us. We are inseparable. We are one big family, all of us who are from Poisson, inextricably linked. And with you being so important, we couldn't possibly do without you. Therefore, this fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty, and you shall stay here. You will be together with us.
Huh? What are you saying? Everything you have said is correct. I have indeed done a lot for my hometown, and I would be willing to be with you all, but what is the purpose of having me stand here like this? What is there to discuss?
Oh, well, if that's what you think, then I have no further comments.
How wonderful, Miss Navia!
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I seem to remember now. Yes, I get it. This trial is...
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Melus?
What was that, Mr. Melus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now. She's guilty!
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Joinville, you only know of Navia's goodness, but nothing of her utterly independent mind.
She was born a free and independent spirit. She has never been tied down by anything. Indeed, even the death of Master Callus couldn't stop her.
Her actions cannot serve as proof that she identifies herself as part of any group. She merely acted as an individual, extending her hand to help others. Please do not mistake her actions as being otherwise.
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontainians here. This is the nation of justice, the nation of Hydro! Even if Miss Navia only voluntarily rendered her assistance, that doesn't change the fact that her beautiful soul must return to everyone. Water accepts all, blends with all. It will surely accept her kindness. Everything is measured here in the nation of Hydro, and in the end, everyone shall meld together. Thus, when a unanimous opinion emerges, that opinion represents justice. Now I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay. We and Navia are one.
And you would call this justice? Preposterous. You are merely jealous that Demoiselle still has a chance to exist as an individual. Have you forgotten how much you all once longed to become individuals, to become independent?
Do you mean to defy our
justice?
If your justice is flawed, then why should we acknowledge it?
As you said, we can also have our own justice. Silver and I shall defend Demoiselle. And that is how we will enforce justice.
Ugh, my head... It hurts.
Demoiselle!
Silver, it hurts. My head is spinning. Oh, I remember now. Everything that seemed odd from the very beginning. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Melus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Don't be afraid, and don't admit guilt. We will protect you to the very end.
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the majority, and in the nation of trials, the majority is absolute justice. We are the will of all. Don't let them escape! We shall keep Navia here with us!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to us. After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying?
No more excuses!
She says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an independent individual?
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us!
Miss Navia, she...
Silence!
That's...
Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just presented are nonsense and cannot constitute a proper trial. The court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any unauthorized party.
Our thanks, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there is still time.
But...
Go on now, demoiselle. This is your only chance to leave this place. What, can't bear to leave us behind or something?
Malus.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that this shall be our last goodbye.
Malus... Silver...
Quickly, you must come now!
Goodbye, demoiselle.
Farewell.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
You're awake. Good.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive.
It looks like you're all right.
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare? Paimon?
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you falling toward the water. You were just about to be dissolved within, but I think I saw two Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second, but they gave me the chance to retrieve you. Were it not for their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you before your consciousness dissipated.
Wait, did you say Oceanids? You mean like what happened with Vache?
Perhaps those two Oceanids were the people you saw in your dream.
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me.
Please come with me.
Neuvillette, are you okay?
Oh, I am quite all right.
Why do you look so stiff all of a sudden? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about, right?
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time.
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you—
I suppose so. Ah, cσrчяigντ. I hope all is well with her these days.
No way, don't worry. She's doing fine down there.
I see. Well, that is good.
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though cσrчяigνtmade him do—
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately.
He still doesn't know what to talk about. So, Neuvillette, you're probably quite the swimmer, huh?
Yes,
This isn't going anywhere. Let's try something else.
yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui were helping the residents evacuate. They had even transported a large quantity of supplies to the area. Amid my astonishment, I ran into the knave, and we had a chat. She informed me that she had asked you to investigate the ancient ruins here.
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but we thought you might still be busy with all those official documents. We didn't think exploring the ruins would take very long.
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
Oh, right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going then! Oh no! Another unstable path! Watch your step!
One with nature.
Watch out! There are rocks falling over here! Hey there! It seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up!
The wind knows it.
Strike a pose! Say cheese!
As one with wind and cloud.
Check fire! Well, with rocks. Cha! Hey there! Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering. Could we take them down and have a look?
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed.
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose.
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this... what?
And is that Lady Farina in the 3rd image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
And is that a ring of people around her?
The 4th image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the prophecy.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it. Most likely due to us
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette. Deciphering ancient stone slate.
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just... This says that it's the history of the future, right?
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
Still, Paimon feels like these images are kind of...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third, where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing.
Did she herself commit that sin? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents...
But who would have created these slates and left...
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is. There's some things you just need to be there for yourself.
You still have energy for that, Navia? Paimon's already beat.
Just head back to the Fleuve Cendré and have a rest then.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Rest well, everyone. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slate. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem? But...
She has long been harboring secrets, and will not give them up easily. Which makes it all...
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands then. You're probably the best person to talk to.
I will be carefully considering my words to...
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fleuve Cendré is always open to you, as ever. All right.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared for you too.
Yay! And there's good food too! Navi, no, the boss is the best. Hyman's already starting to forget what...
Oh, that voice. Is that who...
Huh?
It's you two.
Mona?
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just...
Still, we didn't expect to see you here. Wait, you're not a Fontainian, are you, Mona?
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into you. Quite unexpectedly, if I might add. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Tσdσs doesn't sound much like a Mondstadt surname?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great astrologist's pupil was to change that name. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Tσdσs is not the name of some ancient house or clan.
It isn't?
Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name. Wait!
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a long one.
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great...
Thrice as great?
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Megistus, actually, but when she took me in, she changed her name to Trismegistus.
Talk about excessive.
Megistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's all right if you don't get it. You can look into it further should you need to study astrology more deeply.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontainian, are you, Mona? You're from Mondstadt, right?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dornman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while, after which I settled down in Mondstadt City.
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be dissolved by Fontaine's waters.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange all the same. There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecies and The invitation was sent quite early on.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell us what you think as an astrologist.
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist. And that I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from a powerful visionary.
A visionary?
Of course. The old hag could do it. And I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers. Are you... All right. I'll help you.
Thanks, Mona. You're a
Oh, well, this is something...
That's the greatest of astrologists for you! Of all the people we know!
Indeed,
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything...
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. If Paimon hadn't spoken for you, it'd be you getting all the weird looks. That's more like... Good morning. To be honest, Paimon's still feeling kind of... But it's time to get up, traveler.
You're here! Finally!
Is something...
Monsieur Neurvalette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please...
Like I said, I've already explained everything!
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand and... You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you? Look at this! This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster. And I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson.
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy. The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to...
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets. As well, you have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be. Nor are you a fool. And yet, you're
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were... Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should just trust in me, your Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince your... That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh! You noticed!
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage? Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to...
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a...
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and... If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we... But who will lend us their aid to do such a...
Well, that's everyone. Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world.
That's what family should do. Sit and enjoy...
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me?
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, as for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be...
Oh? How intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Clorand, and used on the spot.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be...
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some
I see. And...
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette,
I've also gone diving to catch some fish.
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Rεsεяvαdσs Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society. Taking up arms in other lines, a trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like...
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of...
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will...
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not...
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more...
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that...
So, are we going hunting together?
We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe...
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Oh, so that's what's going on.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening. Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so long, but Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised. It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But after all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just pour some tea? Paimon did... what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before!
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here!
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky, Huh. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and thus came... Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You...
What? Then is there any way we can stop it?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Teyvat so easily be changed? Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods. Could things be Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well?
The voice. Alright, coming! Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Luna!
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make...
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes! It was Charlotte. You remember her, right? That I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for one.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again. Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing.
The Hexen members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, but I've never met her. And if she were still alive, she'd be... well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few
Whoa. The Hexen sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay in shape to live so long.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't. Perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now. Traveler, Paimon, Are you two alright?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now. It kind of feels like the end is coming.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate, but even so, I still hope for, and believe in, miracles. Perhaps that's what En was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it—
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking about work-related, it was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said, but also kind of sad too. Hey, Traveler, Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's go. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by. Huh? Our names are written in this new— Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meropide, has continued in its noble autonomy. But that does— My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report. A blonde adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious— So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the Traveler contain surprises. Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as— Ugh, seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon— Oh! We're near the Steambird office! Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
Ha! You've got some nerve! You just used us to make some quick mora!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Really?
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
I see. It seems you've already bumped into Mona here in Fontaine. So she mentioned me?
What? She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with—
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't—
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
Yeah, are we even qualified enough?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days.
Oh, in that case, we'll—
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for light— Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And from what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a true... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as... I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But I do love my job. And I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note...
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kind of... Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking... If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Teyvat that would be destroyed tomorrow... Where would we go and what would we... No, Paimon should ask if you... We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always... You mean, still traveling? Huh. Wait, isn't... Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Meropide, that's for sure. It's not only damp there...
Ah, so the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Meropide. Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him. Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been...
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be...
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control, and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired. The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized...
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god, after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her? Good. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Ah, is that so? Well, all right then.
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. And, as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervalet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse. It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try... Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too. In that case, there's not a moment to lose. This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.